Well, howdy, partners, and welcome to the harvest season. Around these parts, they call me Kevin. Today, you're riding with me as we wander over yonder and go exploring these fine grasslands. Yes, hello, it's true. You've heard the rumors, and I can confirm my name is Kevin, and I am your sole host of the harvest season. Hello, everyone. We're here to talk about cottagecore games. You know how we do, as I'm legally obligated to say by Al. But yes, hello. No co-hosts. Another solo Kevin episode today. I can already hear the groan/cheers as you prepare for the best/worst kind of episode we have offer here on the harvest season. Just me, unchained, unhinged, uncensored. Right? No one is here to stop me from singing songs or doing a foghorn leghorn impression. And so prepare yourself. Just me alone, talking directly into your ears. Just you and me alone, staring at each other in an empty room. Hello, everyone. I hope that sets the tone as it should be. If you may feel a little threatened, I'm sure Al does. Excuse me, I got a drink here. But yeah, so hello, it's harvest season. As I was doing my little cowboy twang intro, already got the voices going. We are here, and by we I mean me, I'm here to talk about Gaucho and the Grassland, game that you all know I have been eagerly awaiting, looking forward to. It finally released, and here I am with some first impressions for it. But before that, as per our norm, we have some news to go over. Actually, good bit of pieces of news. I like them from what I've seen, so I'm looking forward to going over that with you guys. But before that, let's talk about some non-cottagecore game thing stuff I've been up to, because people are interested in that apparently. And if you aren't, well, I don't hear any objections. So there you go. So. This week's been, as usual, you know me, I'm busy with work things and stuffs, and I spent time on Guacho, of course, so, that was a good chunk of time this week, but aside from that, I've been, Pokemon Unite hit its 4th anniversary this week, a couple days ago, whenever, which, first of all, is horrifying to think about. I've been playing this game for 4 years. Time. Time. Never stops. It's always relentless. Now, as per pretty much tradition at this point, every year on the anniversary, they release a new Pokemon, a legendary or mythical. We've had Mewtwo, Ho-Oh, Suicune, I think it was, last year. And this year, a little bit of a treat, 2-for-1 special. We're getting the Latios and Latios, the Eon Duo, the Latinas, whatever you want to call them. The Gen 3, the blue and the red one. No, not the ones on the box, the other blue and red one. We only have Latios at the moment, but Latias will be releasing soon, and they do in fact work together. It's the first time we've seen Pokemon explicitly boost and support another specific Pokemon. So that's a fun mechanic, I think, in Unite. I've seen them played, and they're not terrifyingly busted like Mewtwo when he came out, but yeah, it's fun. So fun times over there at Unite. I enjoy it. Still on that train. Speaking of trains, I'm still on Zenless Zone Zero with an update of its own, the 2.1 patch, whatever number. It's one of the bigger numbered patches, which implies a story content update, a new chapter in their story. Now, unfortunately, I think Zenless Zone Zero continues to suffer from a sort of identity crisis. I've talked about it before, but when the game first came out, it was a very, for lack of a better way of describing it, mid-2000s urban vibe. it's a big metropolitan city is the setting, and people have flip phones, and there's CRTs hanging about, and video rentals. A very specific aesthetic they were going for, and it worked for me, right? Clearly up to taste, if the player enjoyed it or not, but it worked, and they rode that aesthetic with a solid game plan and story for a year. Right, there were hackers and kind of this mystery to explore. But yeah, as they hit the end of year one, they kind of wrapped up a lot of those storylines and threads. And I feel like they continue to struggle a bit to follow that up. For lack of a better way of describing it, think of post-Endgame MCU, where it's a little suffering a little in its identity. I'm not sure where to go. Now, this may just be a me thing, because they are leaning into this kind of like, they've gone from this urban city to now we're out in rural, not China, where the former hackers, I mean, they still are, I guess, technically, but they are now living at a temple, trying to become mystics with a bunch of monks, which is a wild pivot from the much more science fiction heavy aesthetic and genre that they were kind of leaning into, and now we're going into a bit of mysticism with feng shui and energy lines and all that good stuff. So yeah, this may be an issue of just stuff getting lost in translation. MiHoYo is a Chinese company, and this may be for that target audience. I don't know. And it doesn't help that the cast, all the new characters that have been out since 2.0, which was about a month or two ago, this new cast has just not hit. Yeah, I don't find them as entertaining or engaging, which isn't entirely a bad thing. And this isn't just the pullable characters, even a lot of NPCs, they're just not as memorable, in my opinion. But the playable characters, yeah, I pulled for one in the 3 or 4 that have come out since then, which isn't an entirely bad thing, because that means I can now save up on resources for when stuff I do want will drop, and that will happen again. We've in true MiHoYo fashion, they tease upcoming characters, not just in the marketing, but in the gameplay. You'll meet some of them who are clearly like, oh, here's your next banner character, or a couple banners away. In particular, there's a group called the Obel Squad. They're like a military defense force unit. And those guys have some cool designs. We've already gotten a few out in ZZZ, but it looks like we're going to fill out the rest of that roster, and I'm looking forward to those guys. There's like a big mecha guy that's piloted by a little bunny robot. There's their captain has a living gun who is actually the captain, I think. Something wild like that. The sniper of their unit is blind, so, there you go. Yeah, colorful crew, that Obel Squad. So I'm looking forward to that. But until that gets here, like I said, ZZZ kind of struggling a little with its the flavor, if you will. But it's okay, because the gameplay is still good. Even though those characters on the instant come out, they give you trials, or you play with them in the story or whatever. They are fun mechanically, gameplay wise. They're not bad. Just I'm not dying for them or anything. And then the nice bit is not just Zenless. I think all the MiHoYo games, they're very strong with their side content. They have lots of weird, goofy modes. For instance, right now they have a summer mode where you operate a seaside resort with all sorts of mini games. And so you have to work to upgrade the mini games and the attractions, and that is certainly enjoyable. I'm having a blast with that little mode. But yeah, that's Zenless Zone Zero. There's my report. No one here to stop me. So there you go. Now, aside from that, the other thing I want to talk about isn't game per se, but I've been watching a lot of Monk, the mid 2000s. I think it was like 2000 to 2008 detective mystery show, aired on USA Network, I think. It's about Adrian Monk, a former detective on the police force whose wife was killed, which led to a dismissal, as he already had let's say, a lot of conditions, OCD and a lot of phobias and stuff like that. Well, all of that is amplified by his wife's death, and so now he does work as a private investigator, still helping the police, just not on their official payroll, but while managing all of these intense oddities and quirks. Yeah, I mean, it ran for 8 seasons. It's clearly a popular show, and you guess what lives up to it. I'm a fan of detective mystery shows. Play a lot of Phoenix Wright, Professor Layton. It's kind of in that lane. And the mysteries themselves, they obviously cast a staff of writers, so they can vary, right? It's tough to write mysteries because how do you do it, right? Are you breadcrumbing the clues and it's kind of obvious how it's going to go? Or is your detective so great they see something that the audience can't see or know, but they caught it, and a big reveal at the end. So it's hard to find a balance between there, and between the different episodes, I think they swing both ways on this pendulum. But overall, still enjoyable. And it helps by the fact that the writing is excellent. It's a very funny show, as Monk has to navigate this world, and the world has to navigate with Monk, supporting his OCD and need to straighten and clean everything up, and avoid things that are not clean or straight and orderly. So it makes for some very, very entertaining scenarios. And Monk himself is very well written and enjoyable character, played excellently by Tony Shalhoub, I believe is the actor's name. Very charming, even with all his oddities and quirks. Very, very funny. Excellent. Can't recommend enough. Shocker. 8-season show was popular for a reason. So yeah, go check it out. And hey, it has a great little intro theme written and performed by Randy Newman, the Toy Story song guy. You guys know what I'm talking about. So that's very catchy. No, I will not sing the song right now. I'll spare you all for now. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I've been up to lately. And so with that, let's see what the world of video games has been up to. Let's start talking with those Xbox 9000 layoff. No, I'm kidding. Let's stick to cottage-core stuff. As painful as it was, my heart, it goes out. My condolences to all those Xbox employees. Oh. So let's talk about things that weren't laid off, but in fact, the opposite. Have stuff that got launched and has updates. Let's start with Islanders, the Calm City Builder. It's come out with a big update called Islanders New Shores. One of those subtitle type updates / expansions. This is the city / island builder, and the New Shores update has it's one of those kind of expansions. I apologize. No, is this a sequel? Oh, this is a sequel. I thought it was an expansion. Oh, I'm wrong. Oh, good for me. I had understood this was an expansion. No. This is a Wow. I think this is one Al has played before and said I should. I could be wrong. Either way, it's an island city builder, island/city builder. A lot of the mechanics of the first game returning, just, bigger, better, more biomes, more options. Very, very fun stuff. It does look up my alley, and I might play it. Kind of reminds me of Terra Nil, which is a game I still go to every now and then, play a lot and enjoy. You've got lava islands, snow islands, rocky islands, and you're just building up little villages and population on these islands. Very charming, very endearing. Check it out. That is out already, with a 60%. Oh my, wait, is that right? Hold on, is this available for $2 USD? Wow. Or is that part of it? Oh, this is a special promotion. Yep. Wow, that is lovely. Yeah, very affordable game. Check it out. It's on sale. And they're still going to work on it. They have a 2025 roadmap with basically a lot of the same, just working and expanding. Very cool. Yeah, good for you, Islanders New Shores. Great looking game. I might very likely check this out. This looks like something I could use, kind of a just pick up and just zone out for a little bit sort of game. Not heavy at all. I like it. All right, let's see here. What next? Something that is not out but is coming out. Let's talk about Super Zoo Story. The I guess Stardew Valley, you could call it. It's this what I would call a Stardew-like, but set in a zoo instead of a farm. They came out with a big post on their Kickstarter. This is kind of a wild one. They had to clarify their release date and development. Feels like an important one that probably should have been made clear, but hey, it happens. Basically, they chalk it up to there was the text portion of the Kickstarter, and then there's graphics portions on the Kickstarter, and basically they just fudged up. They mixed up some of the dates. The true and proper release date is the graphic, the shown on the little timeline graphic. They are planning to release an alpha version of the game in the second half of this year, 2025. A beta will release in the first half of 2026 with the goal of the full release in 2026 second half. And from their posts, they describe that they feel they are on track. Famous last words, but hey, they're trying. They kind of go over different categories of stuff they're working on. They've done a lot of progress on, say, animals and farming machines, automation, customization. They do want to launch with multiplayer in the game, including minigames, like a little soccer game you can play with others. That's fun. I don't know. Does Stardew have that yet? Like little minigames you can actually play with people while playing on multiplayer? I don't remember if it does. But that's fun. That's good. So hey, but good for them. They came out trying to address it. We now, still waiting a year. I'm certainly in no rush for it. Take your time. Well, I get this. I don't know, like the whole relationships and Stardew mechanic tropes. Like I don't know. But it's a zoo, and I really love animals, so maybe, I don't know. maybe more than maybe. There'll be plenty of time, at least a year, until this comes out. No rush by any means, because there is plenty of stuff to play in the meanwhile. Including, transition, Go-Go Town, which has the 5th major update, Tourist Trap. Go-Go Town, the kind of Animal Crossing on hyperdrive looking game, as I would describe it. They have released an update called Tourist Trap, which puts a lot of emphasis on making the village/town a tourist attraction. So now you have lots of people coming in. They have thought bubbles. There's ratings on the attractions and the food and stuff like that. Yeah, kind of roller coaster tycoon. It looks cute. With this update, they've also introduced new categories of people that can visit, aliens and robots and werewolves and all sorts of stuff, which is fun. And some of those characters can also become what they call townies, the actual villagers. And that includes some structures like transit systems that introduces it. Fun little way of doing it. So basically, I want the werewolf. Well, I have to unlock the werewolf transit system, and that will include a werewolf townie in your town. So that's fun. It it introduces Tier 3 industry. That's kind of cool. A factory that leads to production of resources that leads to massive landmarks, as they call it. A big lighthouse, a stadium, hot springs, a conservatory. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. And hey, yeah, Yum Grease. That's that Yum Grease TM. That's a new thing that they make. It's a new resource that you have to make for your factories, and you can make lava lamps and seafood sticks with it. So I admire how unabashed they are about the zaniness of stuff like that. Very cool, very cute. So yeah, go to. Oh yeah. Oh, they have. Oh, big one here. Cliff customization. All New Horizons. That's been added, which includes waterfalls. They also added water jets, so that's actually some very nice looking decorative stuff. Water jets that can shoot straight upward angles, like fountains and such. I like that a lot. So yeah, a lot of new customization stuff. Clowns, they can have clowns joining in the party. That's fun. I admire Go-Go Town. They just keep going at it and leaning into whatever it is they're doing, kind of just over-the-top nonsense, and I appreciate that. I, Kevin, appreciate over-the-top nonsense. Shocker. Yeah, so good for you. And again, that is already out now. Go, see the Go-Go Town. Yeah, baby. Alright, next up, let's talk about Super Farming Boy. No, not a Super Meat Boy expansion, sadly, or crossover. But it is a charming game nonetheless. It is. Oh gosh, I think we've discussed. I know we've seen it before, discussed it, but they're coming out with an early access that's out on August 12th. This game is quote here from their Steam page, an action puzzle farming sim featuring chain reactions and combos, which is just a wild descriptor in my opinion. So yeah, you play what's a little character, what is, oh gosh, I guess, Super Farming Boy, I guess his name. It's all in this very comic booky style, not exactly Cuphead, but very cartoony style, maybe like mid 2000s or early 2010s Cartoon Network, like Adventure Time, Steven Universe-esque designs. You play Super Farming Boy. His body transforms into the different tools, so you just have one tool basically that just changes for the situation, which is a fun concept. And yeah, very charming, vibrant art style. And yeah, the chain thing is weird. Like, you pull up one carrot, but it does like a grid thing that pulls all the other carrots in the same pattern nearby. Very dynamic, very chaotic looking game. But in a good way. Like, it's clearly what they're going for. So, I guess that just might be a thing for taste. There's boss battles, so, I think that using the pulling mechanics, get those chains to hit the bosses, pull the turnip and damage the boss. They have touch controls. That's super cool. So very interesting. I'll be keeping my eye out on this. And hey, they hit an early access on, like I said, August 12th. So that's cool. Good for them. They're getting there. Demo is out now if you want to see. But good for you, Super Farming Boy. You and your wild, cartoony self. Keep on being you, I guess. Here's next up, a game I also want to keep being themselves. Fantasy Life I. They have hit 1.2 million copies sold. Yeah, that's a lot. Wow. That's for like a little over a month. That's pretty good. They're giving out some gift codes for some legendary materials. It's on their Steam page. You can click on the link on our show notes. As someone who played Fantasy Life, I don't know. These might be good materials, maybe not. There's not a lot of them. There's like, 9. There's like 3 sets of 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, there's 18. There's 6 sets of 3 materials each. I'm happy overall, mostly with the number of Fantasy Life sold, because I'm a big level 5 fan, And I was especially worried when their North America office closed, but they came out with this beauty, and it's going strong. Fantasy Life series, the prequel, again, I played the DS version a lot, the DS game. I still play it, actually. I'm going through the DLC Origin Island. Kind of to when this came out, it was, I was like, oh, I don't want to buy it, but I didn't do that DLC, so I fired it up, and I've been chipping away at the DLC a little bit here and there. I like it. It's good. It's the single-player MMO. I don't know if Fantasy Life I still follows that formula, but it still has at least a lot of that level 5 charm and design I still love. So, good for you, Fantasy Life I. Keep on selling. Do another 1.2 million. Yeah. Alright, speaking of games that sold probably at least 1.2 million, I'd be shocked if there were anything less. Hello Kitty Island Adventure coming out with another update. The Sunshine Celebration update, Summer Vacation Festival, Tiki's Beach, beach party type update. It's one of those seasonal events where, hey, go collect all these seasonal, summer fun book resources and trade them in for new stuff, new decorations and whatnot. It's very cute. And it's Batsmeru running a little juice tiki bar. Yeah, I like it. Very cute. Yeah, that's out. Oh, it's on sale right now. 25% off. Get it for 30 USD. I don't know for when, but go check it out. It's a good game. We've talked about it on at least 2 episodes, and I like it. Good for you, Hello Kitty Island Adventure. You're a good thing. That's good. You know what else is good, folks? Discounty, or more specifically, their little PR campaign they've done. So Discounty, we have talked about it for people who may not remember. You are running a convenience type store. It's like in the middle of a city, and it kind of feels like just small little grocery type store. I think the store is called Discounty. Anyways, they released a series of videos that they call employee training videos, and these videos are framed as such. You get little CRT scan lines, and then the little jingle for the business as you work for the Discounty Corporation. They go over a few different mechanics. They talk about store expansion. You can buy land to expand your store. Excuse me. Customer happiness is one. Store layout and customization. I'm actually impressed by that one. There's a wide range of customization and layout options. And it's, I think this is going to be a key element in making this enjoyable, right? Because, running a store is, Al's not fond of, and and a lot of people aren't, for understandable reasons, right? It's kind of maybe, as Al says, it's the shipping box with extra steps or whatever. Well, this clearly is not that. There's a lot more in that. You invest, you kind of think strategically, how do I want to lay out merchandise? And I think that's pretty clever. And not just that, but aesthetically, there's a lot of variations you can go with. You can actually make it look like a little greenhouse sort of store, kind of like a nursery. That's the word, because you have so many plants and whatnot. Yeah. They have an employee of the month contest in their Discord server. That's very cute, where they crown a winner of like the best looking shops every month. With the demo you can play. That is very, very cute. Let's see. Okay, there's a couple more training videos. Welcome to Blomkist. The town is called Blomkist. Kind of an overview of the town outside your shop. Some of the different locals and locations you can visit. That's that's fun. And then there's another employee training video on talking about relationships, like the mechanics and different types of characters you can meet and whatnot. That's the last one. Now throughout these training videos, there's a common theme of how should I put this? The seedy underbelly. This really feels like the JoJo Market route, the game. because at the end of each of these training videos, there's a disclaimer. Discounty Corporation cannot be held liable for any environmental damage, interpersonal relationship issues, or riotous uprisings that occur as a result of following this training video. So, yeah, clearly they framed that some of this stuff can result in bad things. And you do, in fact, get a tiny sliver of a frame of a riotous uprising. So, yeah, I don't know. Can you lean into that? Or is it, like, oh, you're going to have a change of heart and change how the model works? I don't know. But, they're aware of what they're doing. It's fun. And it does look like you have the option to do, kind of build relationships with people you can bribe or make things easier for you, to get around permitting or control press, get in relationship with the reporter and avoid bad press from your store, which is kind of a fun idea, actually, right? The people, your relationships impact the status of your farm. I like that. That's good. Yeah, that's clever. I'm excited for this one. I personally do like store simulators. This one I think has a lot of charm and personality, and the mechanics. Like I said, the whole store customization thing, I like that a lot. I'm a big fan. So, yeah, keep an eye out for that one, folks. Let's see. Do we have a release date? I don't think we do. I could be dead wrong, but I'm dead wrong. I am dead wrong. It's available August 21st, 2025. Oh, that's around the corner in a month. Oh, I can't wait for that. Yeah, I'll definitely be playing this one. Very excited for that. Yay. I like it when I don't have to wait too long for things. That's fun. Yeah. Okay, there you go, discounting. All right, yeah, do check out those videos. I think they're charming. They're only, like maybe a minute long each, something like that. They're flavorful. They have a lot of character. So check them out. We have the links on the website and all that good stuff. Okay, lastly, Sunhaven, I guess. As mandated by the cottagecore laws of the internet gaming sphere, they've come out with a Makeshift plushie because, of course, they have. You know what? Hats off to Makeshift. They are hustlers. Look at how much they get done. Anyways, what is cool though is I haven't seen this before. I didn't really realize. There are jumbo plushies. And this is not the tiny little chibi looking plushie that most Makeshifts are. This is a large one. What is that size? Let me see. I'm curious. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find the size. It is a plushie, I should say, of the Snackoon. It's kind of like big purple. Oh my god, I forgot. That's just a big. The cat has a big belly. It has the purple and the stripes with the white belly. That is just Big the Cat, but a raccoon. Oh man, did I just sell myself on this? Maybe. Let's see here. You have 12 days to get this. The Makeshift campaign. That's how they are, right? Always limited campaign. 12. Well, actually, only available until August 12th at noon Eastern, U.S. Eastern. That's when it's have. So let's just say maybe a week after you hear this. Let's say that. But yeah, it is a. What is the size? I don't know, because they say jumbo. Let's see. Height, width is 25 centimeters. Width is 20 centimeters. That doesn't sound terribly big. I could be wrong. Either way, it's the Snackoon sleeping. Has the blep tongue. I don't think the belly is big enough. That's going to be my biggest complaint. You see the Snackoon art in the Steam page, and it's kind of almost egg-shaped because of that big, wide, round belly. I don't know. Maybe it's just something about the posing. Doesn't feel as round. It does seem more raccoon-like as a plush, which I'm sure they wanted. But yeah, check it out. Because you have about a week to jump on that. It's almost 38 USD. That is a premium jumbo plushie, I guess. Snacks are not included. Oh, and hey, the thing's already funded, so if you want it, you can just get it. It's yours. You don't have to worry about not getting it. So there you go. Good for you, Sunhaven, putting out a very big plushie of a not Big the Cat. When do we get the why don't... Wait, do I have it? No, I don't think I have a Big the Cat plushie. Hold on, folks. This is a Kevin episode. I'm checking the interwebs. Big the Cat plush. Is there an official one, right? That's the question. Because, of course, Etsy has 800 of them. Great Eastern Entertainment. I think that might be an officially licensed one. Oh, snap. Oh my gosh, and it's almost the price of the Snackoon plushie. Okay, I might not get Snackoon, but I might get a Big the Cat plushie. This episode is an accessory, everyone. You can hear the roars of cheering and joy as Kevin discovers the Big the Cat plushie. He has his fishing rod. Oh, he looks very dopey. I love it. His belly's not big enough. No, his arms are too long. That's the problem. Very lanky, long limbs. Kevin discovers the Big the Cat plush. Good times. All right. I know that's the real hard-hitting news we all wanted, but that's all I got. That's the news. We covered the docket. Yay. So with that being said, let's get into Gaucho and the Grassland. So, all right. This one I feel needs a little, just a hint of historical context. What is a gaucho? I ask, or the player asks. You should ask. A gaucho, in a very, very base and a somewhat inaccurate descriptor, would be a South American cowboy, right? The emphasis being particularly on the horsemanship, the skills with equestrianism and all that. And this, as we all know, I'm Mexican, right? So this is south of my border, if you will, right? Because in Mexico, the vaquero is very, very much synonymous or equivalent to the American cowboy, because, hey, guess what? Like a third of American cowboys were Hispanic, so that whole iconography mythos is similar, but gauchos are just a little different. Part of it, I think, is the environment, right? We're talking Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, right? A very different environment from the big wide open plains of the U.S., right? I mean, there were they called the pampas, the kind of plains out in South America, but it's still, generally speaking, a more heavily forested area, right? So the South American region, right? Tropics and all that good stuff. Gauchos, they have this sort of mythos or stereotype of being brave and unruly at the same time, right? Like very rough and tumble sort of guys out there. Not necessarily like Wild West sheriff type thing, but they're out there wrangling cattle or doing who knows what out living out on the country, living out on the land. That's the word I'm looking for. And so again, this South American region, and that leads to this game, Gaucho and the Grassland, which is, in fact, developed by a Brazilian game dev company. One second, let me find their name again. Gaucho and the Grassland. Epopia Games. I hope I'm saying that wrong. Good job, man. I hope I'm saying that wrong. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. That is, again, we're talking South America, so this is more Portuguese than Spanish. So I don't speak Portuguese. I can kind of, guess a little bit. But yeah, so this was announced forever ago, and when I saw this game, I was thinking, okay, it's like 3D Stardew, but you're gonna be wrangling cows and running around and building up your farm or ranch or what have you. That's what I thought that the game was gonna be, more or less. Now what the game was, or isn't quite that. Let's start with the very first thing. First of all, when I bought it, it's only $20 USD. Okay, well, I honestly expect a little more. I thought it was going to be, but I mean, hey, that's a good surprise, right? But it also, I think, does set the expectations of the game, right? This was smaller in scale than I expected, I would say. And it's only 1.3 gigs, so yeah, much smaller in scale than I expected. I was like, huh. But that's not a bad thing. Just okay. Just surprised me a little. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. So what I did get, instead of Stardew but South American Cowboy, what we got is a game that is more, I think, about the themes of the Gaucho, which is weird to say. There's an important bit here. When I checked early on, when I was playing, I just happened to check the credits because I was curious to find out a little more. Because when you start the game, it actually tells you that the development was aided by what they call the State Department of Culture, which I believe is in reference to a Brazilian governmental, federal funding thing. Which I personally found very endearing. And, that, could be largely contextual because of how things are in the U.S. We're losing NPR, PBS, etc., right? So, and then you have this little game out of Brazil where, the Brazilian government wants to make a little game about South American Cowboy and wrangling cows and building things. So yeah, that certainly made me say, huh. But furthermore, like I said, I went through the credits, and at the end, they have a dedication to the victims of some floods that happened in Brazil. From what I read and researched about January of 2025 this year, to the victims and communities affected by these heavy floodings. I was not aware of this stuff, but yeah, thousands of people were affected. People left homeless and so on and so forth. So yeah, obviously a tragic event, and I don't know, that so recent, it's hard to know how much it impacted the development, but that little dedication did kind of paint this whole game in a different light for me, because what this game is, it's not the Stardew Valley like I thought of. What this game is about a community and helping people out, because that's what the premise is. You are a nameless gaucho, and you are summoned by literally your ghost father. That is the character's name, Ghost Father. And he has implored you, forced you. It's kind of pushy. Kind of not even, you don't get the choice. You are given the role of a guardian, to help to go out into these grasslands and these areas where people have been suffering from all sorts of natural and unnatural disasters, and to go help them out and restore their communities. And this is what the game is. It's not about necessarily your central homestead, but to go out and to go restore these different areas, helping people out. That is that is like legitimate, actually the progress measure, how many happy points you get from people. And so yeah, it's like I said, very different from what I expected, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I personally found this charming and endearing. Like I said, maybe I'm being, influenced by current events out here in the U.S., right, where things aren't great, right? Maybe it's my own, I've got a lot of personal stuff going on. Maybe that's making more sympathetic. Maybe I'm just a big sap. Guess what? I am too. We all know this. But I found this overall premise, this overall theme to be very charming and endearing. And I think a lot of it's a presentation. It has the character designs are very overcooked, let's say, for lack of a better way, like very cartoony, very cutesy and exaggerated. The male Gaucho, you can play male or female, but the male Gaucho characters all have, generally speaking, very big mustaches and eyebrows, very cartoony and cute. Your dog also gets similar eyebrows and mustache. So yeah, I don't know, for all the times I writhe in pain over the term, this game did in fact feel cozy to me. At least it touched me, let's say that. Like I said, maybe I'm reading too much into it, right? Maybe that was just a nice little dedication I put in, but when I see this, right, it's a game about helping people. They had these floods, and you have the State Department of Culture funding them, backing them up. Like, I don't know, all that is a feel-good story to me. Like, it adds up to just something a little heartwarming. But like I said, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It's just I'm being just too influenced by other stuff going on. But overall, regardless of that, I do think the game is still charming, and overall the gaming is enjoyable. So let's talk about the actual gameplay mechanics. It's very resource, like, collect and manage. Not even manage. It's collecting, right? You're not even, or at least from the portion I played. I've only played 1 of 3 different areas. You're not really farming, growing crops. And there might be, it looks like there's some different mechanics I might unlock on each area, because I know there's chickens in the game. I have not encountered chickens. I did raise cattle and grow and get milk from them, but no crops. So there might be that. I don't want to be inaccurate, but just I haven't reached that, if that's the case. But so yeah, but at least the part I played, it's not so much about growing the resources, going out and gathering or finding them, right? Chopping trees, picking, using your pickaxe at stones to get stones. Even your dog is a little resource generator. You tend to dig at holes, and it finds metal bits or clay, or different items and resources. And so you have these different tools. The axe, the pickaxe, a machete. Machete, you can cut down different types of grasses and stuff with it. A jug for collecting water. And a milk bucket to milk cows, because cow milk is a resource as well. And so you're gathering all these resources, and you're going around and helping people out, right? It's full 3D. So the horse riding, as it should be with a Gaucho game, is very important. You have a horse with you at all times, or you can hop on or summon it. You can whistle and it'll come to you at all times. The horse riding feels good. You can lasso from the horse riding and use a cattle horn to have cows follow you. All that feels good, as it should be, as I'd expect. So thumbs up for that. It feels like what I want, or what I'd expect, right? Which is always such an important thing for any game. So yeah, mechanically, I think it's very solid, and hey, they are supporting it in between the time me playing it and it coming out and me talking about this. They've come out with a couple updates, including one that improved gamepad performance, because the gamepad at first felt almost like a mouse cursor, that sort of experience, which isn't ideal. And so they said, hey, we're going to fix that. Now it just snaps to different menu options. Like, all right, now we're talking. That's what I want from a gamepad. So good for them. Where was it going? Anyways, okay, going back to the resources. So yeah, you gather all these resources, your sticks and stones and water and all that stuff, and going around and helping people. There's all sorts of different things. But, hey, help me rebuild this cart and this fence. My cows all broke out. Can you help me fix this fence and go herd my cows back here? Can you help me build a trough for these new animals? Can you fill it with water? Can you help extinguish all these fires that are popping up with the jar? Different things. It's none of it's particularly deep. There's no deep character stories or lores or anything, but you're just going out and just helping a community, just helping these little people regrow their little village, your community. And as you do, you get I think they literally call it happiness points or something like that. And kind of what you're doing in each of the areas, because there's, like I said, there's 3 different areas. You start off the game in one central hub world, but then you hop over to different areas. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to find like this spirit guardian of each region. So once you help enough people, you open a door where there's some totems, and you have to fix them up, and then you find the spirit guardian and kind of bring them back so they can help protect the land. And that's kind of the overall objective for each area. Now, in that there is still some sandboxy creative elements. It's not totally linear. There's areas of land you can buy by exchanging enough resources. And some quests will actually ask you to do so, because when you buy the land, you can create different buildings on it. You're given different recipes, and for, X amount of resources, you can build different types of houses, or, a barn, or fencing, or, little different structures. And from what, again, only can play one of the 3 areas, it does look like I could go to the second area and get new recipes and bring them back to the first area. So, there's this element of building up, not just repairing and helping all these little people, but actually building up the town. And a lot of it is purely aesthetic, cosmetic, but it's still charming, and it's a little grid-based system. You put a building here, put a building there, whatever. It's not super in-depth. At least from what I've seen, you can't build, like, let's say, roads, which I kind of wish I could, because I think that would kind of make the village feel nicer or whatever. But, it's not Animal Crossing customized every bit of a speck of dirt on the island or whatever, but it is a nice little creative outlet too, and it feeds into the, hey, I'm making this little village community grow, it's getting bigger. And so that that's, like I said, that's I'm only maybe a third of the game. It's a very short game, I'll say. You could probably, for someone who's busy, you could probably knock out maybe a week if you just played like an hour or 2 every night. Because I played, I don't know the exact hour count, but I would estimate I'm about a third of the way done with the game. And for that price, that's perfectly fine and acceptable. But yeah, that's kind of it. It is a light game, at least from what I've seen so far, and that's okay. Sometimes a light game is good, like I said earlier. And more importantly, like I said, I think this game does something that's very hard, and that's not just to make it charming, but genuinely that heartwarming sense of helping community, right? Like, I don't know, that's like, I think of Stardew Valley and the whole JoJo route and taking out, right, or helping people. Like, those stories, you help certain people and you get involved in their stories and whatever, but the overall feeling of restoring the community, so I don't know, sometimes maybe that gets lost in the weeds of just trying to fill out the community center request or whatever. But this game, like, that's clearly what they're aiming for, and I think it was they succeeded at it, which, hats off to them. I find that very impressive. So yeah, I'm gonna keep playing this game. I want to finish it to completion. That's not a terribly hard ask. I honestly, like, even though the game was not what I expected it's not quite the cowboy simulator I hoped for personally. It's still a lovely and charming game, and a 2 thumbs up and an easy recommendation from me. I hope it does well. It's a more niche, like, culturally area, and it's not like we're playing games from South American devs every other week here, or in general, so I wholeheartedly encourage that, and just go check it out, and like I said, they you can feel the care they're putting into this. They're updating the game constantly and fixing things. I can't. Oh, and I said it before, but the Overcooked art style is very cute, charming. I can't emphasize it enough. Okay, yeah, I think that's all I got really. I'm done rambling and getting mushy and all that. So yeah, that is Gaucho and the Grassland. It came out, didn't disappoint. Hey, good for them, right? The game works and didn't disappoint. What more can you ask for, really? So yeah, go check that out. Again, I highly encourage you. And yeah, I guess we can call it an episode. Shorter one, of course. Just me. That's. I like long podcasts. My primary podcast I listen to is, generally speaking, 3 to 4 hours a week. I like it. Maybe just my own personal situation. When I'm at work, it's easy to turn on a podcast and just get in it for a couple hours. But so yeah, I always feel bad when these solo episodes, like, that's the biggest thing I feel bad about. Like, it's a little short, but hey, it is what it is. What can I do? I mean, I could go on, but I'll save Al the headache. Just cutting out entire sections of me talking to myself with 2 different characters. That'll be for another episode. But yeah, thanks again, folks, for listening. Thanks, Al, for letting me do a solo episode again. Thank you, listeners, for surviving somehow to the end of this. Alright, and with that, you find me on the internet if you can. Actually, you probably don't want to do that. There's probably not much that you want to find out there. I'm at Koopa Prez on the Blue Sky, on the Twitter, on the whatever, or the Artist Squared if you want to see some of my art, even though I'm falling behind. I made some sprites in the past week. That's something. Well, make more. Yeah, I want to make more. Of course, I'll make more, but I'll get to it back one day, maybe, probably, I promise. So yeah, that's at Koopa Prez on whatever, at the Artist Squared or the Sprite Squared. On various things if you want to see some of my art. Find Al at the Al at the Scottbot on Mastodon.Scott and Blue Sky. Find this lovely podcast at THS Pod on Tumblr and Blue Sky. Or, better yet, go to harvestseason.club so you can drop a line, drop the feedback. I love the feedback, from this and RRR. I love the emails. I think stuff that's, we gather the news, we prepare our topics or whatever, but the element of just questions from people outside, all that from this plan stuff, I like that a lot. So I encourage you people to leave some feedback to get read on air or to ask questions. Doesn't even have to, I'll say it here, doesn't even have to be Cottage Core related. Ask us dumb stuff. Ask us to rank different pastas. I don't know, I don't care, do whatever. Al loves it when I promise or say these things. He does. But yeah, harvestseason.club. Check it out for all the links and the feedback. Or even better, head to patreon.com/thspod, where you can drop a little money to help support Al in his endeavor. Man has children. Help feed his family. You can help with that. He does not financially, at least not to that level, depend on this. But supporting the, paying, I don't know, was it server fees, whatever, stuff like that. That is nice. It's nice to support. But, who cares about that? Because you get stuff out of it. You, dear listener, if you join the Patreon, you can get access to the Slack. Where, oh man, all the, I didn't do a Slack thread because just me, I guess, today. Kind of weird, just posting a thread for myself. But you can see people talking about the show and other stuff, and it's very fun, very entertaining. Not as chaotic as Discord, too. It's very nice. You can also get access to the Greenhouse episodes, of which there are many that are still good to listen to because a lot of them are not time sensitive. Just about random topics. We still have a few in the oven we need to get. I want to talk about Bluey and Sonic the movie, the 3. I want to talk about those things, the things I like. There's other stuff. You know what? Insider baseball. I wanted, we do the Greenhouse episode at the end of each year, like favorite games from 2025 or 2020. Every X year, whatever. I was not on last year's, but I've suggested Al, hey, can I do one? And I think it was Johnny, I want to get some people on so we can talk about other games. I still want to do that. Anyways, I'm rambling. That's what you get with the solo episode. Thank you again for having me on. Join us on Patreon again. That's fun. I promise, despite all my rambling. Thank you all. Thank you, Al, again for having me on. And until next time, dear listeners, have a good harvest.
The harvest season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
Now hold on a minute, I say. Hold just a minute. What kind of show was that, boy? The people demand entertainment. Entertainment, I say. You're out here making people sleepier than a cat lying in the sun, boy. You need to lift their spirits. Excite them, boy. Take it from me, son. I'm a rooster. A rooster, I say. I'm born and bred for getting people's attention. It's a show on farming games, boy. You can't get more farming than a rooster. I say the next time you can't find a co-host, just give me a call, boy. Spare the poor listeners and give them what they want. Just look at them, they're already stopping the podcast, boy. Now listen here, boy, you're a nice boy, but you're about as thrown as watching paint dry. It's too late now, but next week I say just tune in and let old Foghorn show him how it's done. That's called a promise, son. A promise. And you all thought you could get away from one of my dumb impressions.